What is up, guys? Hope you're all doing good. I'm going to release this video the same day I'm recording it, which is Saturday, January 14th. So, happy Saturday if you're end up watching this today. And I just played this game like 15 minutes ago, or 20 minutes ago. I took a shower, and I recorded this video, so that's what I'm doing. I just wanted to let you guys know that if you want to be coached by me, you can. I've got a Discord. It's in the link in the description, and I'd be happy to coach you as I dance with my Marana here. And yeah, I don't have a ton of coaching right now, so I have some time. I'm not saying like people need to sign up. I just do this kind of as a hobby. But you know, if you're interested, just thought I'd let people know in the beginning of the video because a lot of people don't watch till the end, which is fine. Hello guys, welcome to this video. This is Carbonyl Dota. I am a 6K MMR Dota coach and player, if you haven't seen my videos before. And in this video, I want to do a replay analysis of this lane and talk about how you can make a plan for your lane and then show how we proceed to basically play a hard lane and not get totally dumpstered. We do lose this lane. I think it's a very hard lane, so I was expecting to lose it, but we still have a game. We don't feed, we don't, that's basically it. We don't feed, and we don't get completely zoned in the CS in the first, 5 minutes, right? And if you're an offlane player, you know that sometimes in really hard lanes, the lane can just become unplayable, and by level 4, you've been completely kicked out. And that's not quite what happens this game. And it's important to understand how to make a plan for your lane and play accordingly so that you can do this in your own games and go on to win games where at 10 minutes, I am the lowest core. I'm even below their position 4, but I had a game. And, all of our lanes did not go particularly well. Our mid was even, but our top got completely owned. And our bottom lane was very hard, but at 10 minutes, I believe I died once. Yeah, I was 0-1-0 with 2,500 net worth. And the troll was beating me for sure. 1,200 net worth, not great. But it was a really hard lane, and my position 4 was not doing a ton to help me out. So let's get into this. First, I'm going to break down with a recap or with a analysis preemptively of how I think this lane's going to go. Then we're going to show you how the lane goes, and I'll talk about items I get, all that stuff. The first thing I wanted to talk about was the hero interaction analysis or kill threat. So when thinking about how a lane is going to go, we're making a plan for this lane. CM, Troll versus Mars, Marana. What do we need to think about? Okay, well, who pressures who? How do we think about this? First, we think about the core matchup. So if a Mars and a Troll hit each other and use their spells, let's say they're both level 2, who wins? Troll wins, because he's got melee whirling axes, none of my right clicks will do anything, and he's ranged, so he attacks me as I'm walking up, he can attack me as I'm walking away. The trades just do not go in my favor. 1v1 supports, Marana CM. That's pretty even. If the Marana's good and constantly harasses from a distance, she does out-harass the CM, but that's kind of hard. It's easier said than done. So I would say it's about even. Nothing crazily favored. They'll trade a little bit. Either one really solo kills the other one. And in a 2v2 analysis, they have just kind of in this situation, like a normal laning situation, what happens if all 4 of us heroes are together, which is kind of what happens this whole lane. My Marana never goes anywhere. The CM never goes anywhere. So they constantly chip us down is what happens. They both have spells they can use from range to harass. My spells require me to get up close. And as long as they have mana, they will just wear us down from range. There's nothing I can really do about this. If they were to step out of position and I spear and we arrow, that could definitely be a kill opportunity. But if the CM just stays at max range away from me, there's nothing I can do to set up a spear on her, because that's just not how my ability works. And normally I cover what happens when one support leaves for the other support leaves. Well, I'll do that real quick, because my Marana does leave at one point. to go top. And if Miran ever leaves, I am at complete kill threat. Like, they could just kill me because they have a bunch of slows and a lot of chip damage. And, you know, I can try to spear them away from me, but it's basically just a desperate attempt to not die, right? I'm a massive threat of just being killed if Mirana ever leaves. And that's not, like, if she was to go to a quick pull or something, that maybe could be fine. Probably would be good in some situations, although that doesn't really happen in this game. But, you know, if she leaves to rotate, I have to be super careful. And it's not that she can never rotate, it's just that if she does, I have to know that I am a big kill threat and play accordingly. That's the plan. That's the plan that we have to make, is if she leaves, play really safe. And then if the CM ever leaves, the troll has a pretty hard time, I think. We can, like, if Miran is just allowed to click this troll without CM being there, the troll's not going to like that. It's a little hard for us to kill him because he has his whirling axes that will slow us as we, like, approach him. So unless he kind of really messes up or gets caught blind by an arrow, it's kind of hard for us to actually kill him. Because even if we do, like, hit a stun into spear, if I'm, like, right-clicking him and then he just whirling axes immediately and presses his stick, which he has because we're a Mars, then he kind of just doesn't die. Like, we just don't have the follow-up damage. Unless we were already way ahead in the lane, which we do not proceed to be at any point. No notable power spikes is the next thing I want to talk about in this lane. Both sides kind of just consistently get stronger as the lane progresses until level 6 on Mars, I think. But my level 6 doesn't come until after 10 minutes. It's like after the lane breaks down, so it's not really relevant. But that would be the biggest power spike in the lane as a whole. CM level 2 is a power spike that we need to be careful of, but we were playing very safe anyways, so they didn't. We didn't step out of position to, like, allow them to punish us, which is important. It's important to recognize CM level 2 is a power spike, but we're playing very safe this lane. In terms of the pull camps, it would be nice if we got some pulls off, but, like, I don't know, for whatever reason, neither support, like, kind of goes for any pulls. We do a pretty good job managing to creep equilibrium in light of that. For the most part, we keep it in front of our tower. And the CM just never goes to pull the hard camp. If she, you know, basically we want to keep it in front of our tower to just be safer because we're more defensive, right? In this situation, we're right outside of their tower, which is a little dangerous, as you can see. I'm forced to zone them away with a spear. Even though we had the creep advantage there, you would think their aggression is not necessarily good. They're just so much stronger than us that it doesn't really matter. In terms of the mid matchup, it's important to consider, like, is one mid going to be ganking? Lesh doesn't really gank. He's their mid. Tinker doesn't really gank unless they're, like, diving us or gets a super early blink. But even that's, like, 8 minutes or 9 minutes, which doesn't happen in this game. So not really any ganking happening from the mids, but it's important to consider. And then when does this lane end? Honestly, if somehow we went even with the troll and they got 6, he would kind of have to leave, I think. But I don't think there's a... Given that that's very unlikely, what's eventually going to happen is the troll's going to whittle us down. And either we're going to need to bring heroes here to, like, try and kill him and boot him out, or we're going to kind of have to leave and go look for place elsewhere and sweep back bottom eventually, because... we can't just continually lane against the troll forever. Eventually he's going to get to a point where he's going to be way ahead, which does happen. You know, at this point, 10 minutes, right? He's got phase, perseverance. He can just cast all of his spells on cooldown. He's right-clicking for more than we do. And if we just continue laning, like, he's just going to deny every creep. And we're not going to get anything, right? So the lane just kind of needs to end around that point, if that's what happens, which it kind of does. And we're kind of expecting it to. So the plan should be... once the troll gets kind of too strong, we either need to, like, bring heroes to our lane or, like, go somewhere else and look for a kill. What ends up happening is, like, a bunch of heroes show up in this lane because our top lose their tower super early, and the Necro and the Mag come down here, and then our Tusk and Tinker come down. It's very weird. But, you know, if we're just making a plan at the outset, we're not considering that that's a possibility, really. But, so that would be my thoughts on this lane. So, in terms of the game plan, last hitting, defensive aggro. If they step out of position, we can try and go on them, especially the CM. But otherwise, just play really defensive, use a lot of defensive aggro. Try not to get hit by their spells on range creeps. That's something very important, and let me show you that right now, because that happens multiple times in this lane. And if you're not thinking about this in terms of the matchup, then you're just going to take a bunch of unneeded damage. So this is exactly what I'm talking about. This range creep, if I try and deny this range creep, A, it's probably not going to work because Troll's got a 90 damage nuke. And B, if I get hit by that nuke and then get chased, because it's also a slow, by these 3 creeps getting hit while Troll's hitting me, I'm going to take approximately 200, 300 damage while having not got the deny. So I cannot go for this deny. And you guys have to know that there are denies you can't go for. And CM is another hero. Both their heroes actually threaten this in this lane. So I can show you multiple instances where I sort of posture here. He ends up throwing his axes anyways, which is weird because I like totally started walking away. I was like sort of posturing and then I just walked away, right? I didn't go for the deny. And let me show you, it happens again right here in a second. We're going to defensive aggro here. This range creep right here, not deniable. Not deniable. Not deniable. Don't go for the deny. It's not going to work. So what do? I walk away from the range creep. What does Mirana do? She sits right next to it and gets nuked and clicked and creeps attacked her. How much damage did Mirana take here? Let's just run it back and just check. And she didn't even go for the deny, which is crazy. Okay, so she's sitting at, let's just say 460 for easy math. 460 HP. Click. Creep sitting here. 317. Okay, so she lost 150, which all things considered, not too bad. Could have been worse. If the troll had hit her like once or twice, it would have been worse. So for no reason, Mirana just lost 150 HP, right? And that's just life. If you go for that deny, or even if you're not going for the deny, you're just standing near the creep they're going to do that to, you're going to take free damage. So don't take free damage in your lane. And this specific aspect of like, if they have an AoE nuke that secures the creep, then just don't stand near it. This can go for like a Medusa can do this to you, a Rubik can do this to you, CM is super like known for doing this to you. I mean, if it's like a Legion commander, Mag can do it. So many heroes can do this, right? If you're standing right next to a creep and they're going to use their nuke to secure it and it's an AoE, like, you just shouldn't stand near it. Don't take the damage. The last thing I wanted to talk about is items. So I started with a stick, 2 branches, 3 tangos, a quelling, and a mango. Obviously, we're going to need regen. Quelling Blaze for the last hit damage. Troll's pretty high damage, so we need some. Stats are good. Need the stick because CM Troll is like, duh, right? They're just going to be constantly spamming their spells. And I'm a Mars who uses a lot of spells, so they're going to buy sticks. Wow, neither of them started stick. It's kind of low skill. They do buy sticks at some point. Granted, I haven't used a lot of spells so far, but usually you start stick versus Mars. And then I flew out this salve as my first item because I thought I would need more regen. I used 2 of my tangos at that rune fight, so that especially told me that I was going to need more regen ASAP. I could have flown out another set of tangos instead of a salve. I just thought at some point maybe I would take 400 damage if they both got all their slows off, which does happen eventually, as you'll see. And then the salve is very helpful in being able to lane semi-immediately after that happens. Then I proceed to go for wand and boots. The wand just because I thought I would get more than 10 charges eventually, possibly. Maybe you could argue I didn't need the wand though, because what I end up doing is I go boots of speed into blink. That's my first item. Boots of speed, blink. And so you can see I actually didn't need to go the wand recipe. It's actually just 150 gold slower blink dagger. And I didn't need it because of the slots. So if I had to stick and I didn't branch, it would be fine, right? And I would have got my blink dagger 150 gold faster. So I should have thought of that because I knew at this point already, I knew that I wasn't going to be like getting phase boots. And it's like, when do you not go phase boots on a hero like Mars who really wants to get phase boots? Well, the answer is I try and not be near another range creep, and then for whatever reason the CM doesn't nuke it. So I don't know. And the troll also could have nuked it. But they're saying, oh, phase boots. When it doesn't change anything about the lane. Is the extra 4 armor I get from phase boots going to prevent me from taking a bunch of damage from their nuke harass and some right clicks? Not really. It's not going to effectively allow me to like body or like tank up against their trades and like fight back. It's just not. The spell damage is really the killer here. And the fact that I can just never right click the troll anyways, right? Who cares about the damage from phase boots? I can't right click the troll anyways. So the phase boosters just aren't going to change anything about how this lane works. So I skip them and get a faster blink, which is an item that will allow me to have impact because blink's spearing and allowing my Tinker and PA to like do all the damage, or blink spearing into like an arrow setup, is exactly what's going to allow me to have impact this game. And when you're in a really hard lane as an offlaner like this, the most important thing you can do is like get an item that gives you impact, whatever that item is. You know, if you're going hood, or I used to do this, I used to buy like a hood, right? You might think this is a good hood game, right? CM, Lesh, Necro, who's really farmed. Great hood game, right? Well, if you're having a bad lane, no. Because then you're having a bad lane and you have really low net worth and all you have is a hood. And then you just die anyways because you're... Or even if you don't die, you don't do any damage. You don't have any setup for your spear. So I've made this exact mistake many times. I used to just play this way. I was like, oh, I need a hood. It's a good hood game. And then you proceed to have no impact because you can like never set up anything for your team. This blink does set up a lot for our team. So that is the game plan. We've covered a couple of the tactical things in lane that I wanted to cover. And we'll just watch it through on ×4. I'll kind of know what's happening, but just for you guys to see how it plays out. Defensive aggroing, not overextending, not sending their range creeps. I got hit anyways because CM's nuke's fucking huge. Just focusing on the CS, and we do well in the CS for the first couple of minutes, like all things considered. Like we're having a hard, this is a hard lane, and at one point I think we're like 22 CS to Troll's 25, which is like as good as it can be expected. And then he proceeds to kind of dump search from there because he gets continually stronger and the dynamic of the lane doesn't change. Getting hit by a nuke there because I stood near the range creep. We have a huge wave. They go on us, right? I can only Spirit Mars away. Oh, let me talk about skill build real quick. I really wish that I hadn't taken Spirit Mars, the rune. That was kind of just a grief on my part. I wish I had taken God's Rebuke, the cheaper mana-wise way. It's like 10 mana cheaper, I guess. But the cooldown's also... Oh, the cooldown's more. Wow, God's Rebuke is just so giga nerfed right now. I guess Spear's not that bad. I don't know. It's 10 mana less, which is nice. I wish I had taken Bulwark level 2, just because I'm not going to be like aggressively set up on them, right? And so I wish I just had that to mitigate a little bit more of the damage. This is the point where the salve came in handy, and then the CM nuked me, and I lost like 4 seconds to the salve, which kind of sucks. But you can see we're defensive aggroing backwards when possible. I believe I do fly out some more tangos. Or no, what happens is I get really low. Something happens and I end up getting more tangos than a raindrop. Raindrop, also very good. It was here. I got really low. They used all their spells. Nothing I can do to prevent them from doing that. No way me and Mirana can really go on them, right? The CM's like at max range, just using her slows on me. Like, what am I supposed to do with a troll hitting me? There's just nothing I can do. And I really just want to emphasize this because in this game, my Mirana started complaining that I never did anything. And if you think that you can't do anything, don't overforce it. And if your teammates are like, you know, either flaming you for it or saying, oh, you need to be doing XYZ, like if you don't think you can do it, just don't do it, right? Just mute them. I actually muted everybody on my team this game because they all decided to start flaming instead of playing. I was like, okay, whatever, I'm just going to mute and play. Don't let them, like, get in your head. And, you know, if I had played this game yesterday instead of today, I probably would have let them get in my head. But if you can be in the right mindset 70% of the time instead of 50% of the time, you'll win more games. So, you know, and that's progress, right? I'm trying to, like, be in the right mindset more often. And I'm not perfect at it, but this game, I was in the right mindset. So this is what I mean. At 8 minutes, a bunch of heroes showed up in my lane, which was kind of weird because then we proceeded to land a spear into arrow right here. And then my Tinker was leaving, and then the Tusk was like not ready, even though he came down here. I don't know if he would have died anyways. He definitely would not have died. He's got a 20 stick, so it's probably good that we did it. I just thought this was weird though. I was like, why are we here? Why is Tusk here? Why is he here? Is he having impact? Doesn't look like. Granted, to be fair, there's nothing this Tusk can do because his own lane is trash. And our mid, we already lost our tower, so I guess there's nothing for him to do anyways. But my XP gets kind of griefed here as all these teammates are in the lane. And I do die here if their mag shows up. Their position 4 mag. They got the tower, so he rotated. Good for him. And yeah, that's this lane. It's basically over, right? The troll has gotten to the critical mass where we can't really lane against him. Other heroes showed up like the mag anyways. There proceeds to be a bunch of fighting down here, which isn't that important, I don't think. I guess the last thing I do want to show, so I'll skip ahead to show this, is that we get the blink. We have impact with the blink. Even though we're having the worst game of the cores, even though our team's not doing well, we play to have impact by skimping on our other items, not overbuying regen, but like not having to overbuy regen because you're constantly defensive aggroing. So let me skip ahead and show you where we get this blink and how we have some impact. Here, I actually do want to show prior to me getting blink. So this Tinker is kind of showing up to farm this lane, which is like, okay, the Tinker needs farm. I'm going to accept that. I'm not going to complain about it. So here we do smoke up because I do have Arena to like go look for a kill. And this is something that you should try and do, especially if your lane's really hard and you have your power spike right. Look for something, like try something. If this doesn't work, like if we find this Lesh and then we don't kill him and his whole team shows up and we get wiped, I still think it was a good attempt, you know? It's a good attempt because nothing was going to happen if I stuck around my lane. I was going to get a little bit of farm. Maybe they were going to kill me and go on me. We end up getting really lucky, finding this Lesh, using all of our spells, right? We're way behind. Just use all your spells to kill him. And so I just did want to show that. And that's what got us our blink, actually, was this kill. And so you can see we're still way down net worth in the cores, but it's okay. We have our blink dagger. As soon as our arena's up again, we'll make another play. So here's me with my blink dagger. My team's setting up bottom. I have my blink. Arena's back off cooldown. I'm like, all right, let's defend this tower. They want to try and take it. Let's see what we can do. And we get really lucky here because the mag blinks skewers and runs into the outside of the arena, and then my team picks him off. So the person I go on Necro does not die, but we get their mag, which kind of takes all the steam out of this. And then I think we get like another kill or two. And then we get really lucky here because, well, we lose our Tinker, which isn't lucky. But then they overextend chasing our Mirana, and we kill this Necro, which is huge because it's like their second highest net worth hero after the Troll. And the last thing I want to talk about, you saw the blink, we had impact in a fight, super, we're still down 6k gold, but it is the discipline of going, not the discipline, the choice of going BKB first item next. This is the next item we can buy that will give us more impact on this game. Phase Boots still doesn't change anything, even at this point. Technically, it makes my W do a little bit more damage in my like combo, but I'm not the damage. Right? My Spear Arena is all the damage. Like, that's the damage that matters from me. If I can get that off on a key target and then BKB and not die, or like, you know, if I need to BKB to not die and then still get my combo off, that is what gives me the most impact and allows me to play this game. So that's what I go next. I swear I use it at some point in this game, guys. Here? Ah, there we go. And basically, I just get my spells off here and don't die. And that's what BKB allows me to do. I did unfortunately get stunned by the Lesh, so I got really low. But I popped one, popped BKB. So actually wasn't a great fight for us. Tinker died again. We saved our PA. And what's important is we just didn't die, right? As bad as that fight was, we didn't die. Their Lesh did also, right? Granted, our Tinker is worth way more than their Lesh at this point now, but that's what the BKB does, right? It allows you to take a fight and like get all your spells off and then not die. Which is pretty good. Not dying is great. So that's the video. Hopefully you can see, like, you know, I did not solo clear this game. I'm not saying I did, but I had impact with the items I went. We played our lane as safely as we could. We didn't chain feed in the lane, right? At 10 minutes, we had only died that one time, which isn't too bad. And I think that was right at 10 minutes, like at 9, whatever. It was when the mag showed up and killed us. That was when we died. So we basically didn't die in the lane. We died on the mag rotation after the lanes had kind of broken down. So that's how you can have impact in hard lanes. This was the whole, like, playing your lane out. How does it need to go? Understand the matchup as best you can. Play accordingly. Don't get baited by your team's, like, weird ideas if you don't agree, right? You know, think about it afterwards. Like, could I have done something different? Like, I thought about it this kind. I was like, my Mirana said, like, we could have been aggressive. And I really thought about it. I was like, us being aggressive against Troll and Sienna. I was like, I don't see how that works. I just don't see it. They just use their spells on us from range as we're walking up. Like, we have no setup for my spear like a spear sets up the arrow, but like how do I get a spear off if they're just constantly chipping me down from 600 range? Like I don't know. So I don't think it could have gone any differently, honestly. I'm really happy with the way I played it. I didn't overplay it. I would have actually skipped the Magic Wand recipe and Rush Blink even faster if I had thought about it in advance, because I didn't have slot issues. Usually, like, when you're struggling, a lot of times you only want to upgrade Magic Wand when you have slot issues, but I was not having slot issues this game. And then just show you, I actually went back for Pipe after I was buying a bunch of my team's boards too, because I was like, okay, we need to play around the Roshan, blah, blah, blah. But I actually went back for Pipe because they do have a lot of AoE magic damage, but I needed the BKB to not die in fights. I got the mana boost just because I was always low on mana. And then I picked up the Pipe to end. The Pipe didn't have that much impact at that point. We were pretty far ahead. But that was this game. Hopefully you guys learned a lot from this and can emulate these kinds of things in your own games. You know, these lanes aren't always fun to play, but like I won this game, right? And if the 5K version of me had played this game, 100% would have lost. I would have died in lane 3 times, and our other lanes got crushed, and we would have got crushed even harder. I would have tried to force things. It wouldn't have worked. I would have rushed a bad item. So these are the things that allow you to like have impact and then eventually can go on to win games like this. I'm not saying you're going to win every game where your carry gets crushed, but not getting griefed in your own lane, even though it's hard, is what gives you the best chance as the offlaner to win these games. So hopefully you learned a lot. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, sub to the channel. And if you want to be coached by me, check the link in the video description. You can join my Discord there, and there's all the information there on how to sign up.